So we are here with Curt Newsome, head coach of the Emory and Henry Wasps, as they get ready for their very first year in the South Atlantic Conference. And Curt, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Appreciate it.
So I'm going to jump into kind of a loaded question a little bit, but we've got a lot of new faces in the SAC this year. Emory and Henry, Barton and Erskine all joining the conference. And obviously you have not been a part of the conference, but how do you, as a new team coming in, how does that kind of change the dynamic of the league, do you think, with three new teams?
Well, I think we've got some catching up to do. Those programs have been recruiting with scholarships for several years, and really we've got a year and a half of scholarship players. So we're concerned about that, but we're so happy to join what we think is the best Division II conference in the country, and I think they'll have some growing pains, but they got off to good starts, and so we'll see if we can compete at that level.
Yeah, I'd be biased, but I tend to agree with you. We are a very good conference, probably the best in the country. So thank you. And adding you three has definitely enhanced it, especially from a football side. As you look into your team, and you do have the benefit of having several years of recruiting, obviously, in a team that's been established for several years. How does your team look for 2022 after the spring and some summer workouts and things?
Well, I'd feel great if we were playing an ODAC schedule. But we've got about 9 starters returning on each side of the ball. So we've got an older group.
Okay.
It's just how the younger scholarship guys fit in, and if they can help us early and those type of things. But, I like our team from an experience point of view. But, I think where it's going to be, we'll find out if we can compete is on the offensive and defensive lines. I think there's a big difference in the SAC conference.
You're not the first coach I've heard to say they need help on offense and defensive lines recently. That seems to be a popular topic amongst all the coaches this year. So hopefully everybody works out really well. You mentioned having nine starters back. How does that leadership, affect your team? And then who do you kind of see having to step up in order for you to be successful this year?
I think it's, anytime you've got an older football team, I think you've got an opportunity to be successful. Now, finding out the talent level, the biggest challenge for me is when I plug in the film, I don't know what actually I'm looking at, because I don't really have a lot to judge it by. I know I'm seeing good football being played. So as far as that goes, I think our leadership will be the strength of our football team this year.
That's good. So in the last couple of years, you've had between COVID, changing from Division III to Division II, it's been probably a whirlwind for you all. But last year was somewhat normal, although the first year kind of playing a Division II schedule. Do you think that has helped your team, and how will that kind of impact this year going forward?
Yeah, I think we had the worst record we could possibly have with our football team last year, in that we didn't finish football games, but it was normal. And, we lost 3 out of the 4 losses we had. We lost in the last minute of the game. And, I think our calling card this year will be finish. We've got to finish, and we didn't do that a year ago, but it was very close to normal last year. And right now, I think, the spring became even more so. And the spring helped, coming into the fall. And I think this fall will be as close as we've ever been back to where we were pre-COVID.
Absolutely. That's the hope, at least, right?
Yes,
You mentioned finishing kind of being a word you're going to use this year, and every team has kind of a motto or a credo that they follow. What is the Wasps model or motto this year?
Well, our first calling card is blue collar gold standard, and
Okay.
we have a patent on that. So if you see anybody like Notre Dame using it, please let us know.
I will.
But really, we're going to start day one. Our first meeting when they get here next week, we'll be talking about finishing, and that's finishing every drill, finishing everything, because that's the one thing we didn't do a year ago, and I think if we would have, we would have won this conference. And so that's will be our calling card, as I said.
I like it. Finishing is a good one to have. You can't win the game if you don't finish it.
Right.
All right. So last question. It's kind of tough, I'm sure, but I have a feeling I know what you may say. Obviously, looking at the SAC between yourselves incoming, Barton and Erskine, and then the current teams in the SAC, the ones that have been there, who do you feel is going to be your biggest rival, or your team that you kind of, looking at the year, say, you circle it on the schedule and say, guys, this is the one we really want to try and win?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any question about it. UVA wise, it's going to be, the proximity, the recruiting against each other, and they've had battles in the past, I think that's the one you've got to point to initially, and I'm excited about it. I know they had a breakout kind of season last year where they won some games in this league, which I know they're probably ahead of us right now, but we're trying to catch up and look forward to that being a great game and great gates for both schools, and really excited about what that rivalry can do for each team.
Yeah, I think that may become a long-standing rival in the future. We've got a couple in the league already. Catawba and Lenore Ryan are kind of a long-standing one. You got Mars Hill and Tusculum have been one. Carson Newman and Tusculum have kind of been them. I definitely see Emory and Henry and UVA as becoming a long-standing
I don't think there's any question.
Rival in all sports.
Right.
So, exactly. Well, Curt, thank you for taking the time to meet with us today and talk about the 2022 season. We're starting, as you said, your team reports next week, and then we'll be ready to hit the ground running here in the first full year in the SAC.
Well, thank you so much. We're excited about it. It's been great for our college. It's opened up recruiting areas that we couldn't hit before, and so we're excited about it. Look forward to it, and I know what a class league we're getting into. I've already in meetings. I've already been able to realize, how things are done the right way. I've been fortunate enough to coach Division I, Division I AA, Division III, and so this is Division II for me. So I guess Pop Warner's my next stop.
Well, let's not send you to don't send you to Pop Warner anytime soon. We'd like to keep you in the SAC, but
well, thank you so much.
We can make that a side gig for you eventually.
Okay.
Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.